Hi, writers. Today is the start of a special week of writing that we're going to do with our characters. Now, so far, we created a character. We came up with adventures for that character, places that that character could go and things that they could do, problems that they could have. Then we wrote lots of stories for our characters, right? Where that character was here, that character was there, that character was having lots of problems. And now what I want to tell you is that what you have done by writing all of these stories about that character that you created is you have now written a series of books. Just like Frog and Toad, Walter and Iris, or Walter and Ivy, all of those different Magic Tree House, all of those different book series that we have read in the past and that you have read, where the author created a character and then created a bunch of adventures for that character, all of them are considered a series of books. And you have now written a series yourself. And I have written a series too. So I created my character Fiona. Fiona had lots of different adventures in her treehouse. So now here's what I want to teach you about. And this is what we're going to work on as the final part of this writing unit. What we're going to talk about is that when a writer writes a series of books, they have to have a first book, that very first story that introduces the character to the readers, to the whole world. So this week, we're going to work on book one. And book one as a writer is when I'm going to take my character Fiona and I'm going to introduce Fiona to the world. I'm going to tell people where she lives and what she's like. And I noticed that the adventures that I've written for her mostly have to do with the treehouse. Actually, they 100% have to do with the treehouse. Every single story that I wrote about Fiona, she was going to the treehouse and there was something happening. So in thinking about that, I decided, and I don't know if maybe you've wondered this when you've listened to my stories about Fiona, but I decided that maybe it's important for me to teach the readers how Fiona got that treehouse. So my book one of my series is going to introduce Fiona, and it's going to explain how Fiona got the treehouse. So I have to come up with this idea myself. And today, you're not going to be writing it all. I'm not going to write it all today. Today, what we're going to do is create the idea for book one. So I want to think of, why did Fiona get this treehouse? What happens with this? Okay, well, there's a few things that I know about Fiona. I know that Fiona is a girl who lives near the mountains. I know that she is 7 years old. And then all of a sudden it just popped into my head. Okay, maybe when Fiona turned 7 for her birthday, maybe her big present was the treehouse. And then I thought, oh, what a great idea, right? So she gets this treehouse, and that's why these are like the adventures of her life when she's 7 years old in the treehouse. And then I thought, what could be a problem about that though? I mean, I guess maybe could it be putting it together there was a problem, but really I don't think Fiona would be the one putting the treehouse together. That probably would be her parents or maybe someone that they hired to do it. So then I thought, how about this? What if when Fiona turned 7 and she got the treehouse and she was super excited for the treehouse, what if it kept raining every day? Like pouring. And remember my story about how she was stuck in the treehouse when it was pouring. It's not, I guess that you could be in a treehouse when it's pouring, but in the beginning it could be slippery on the ladder and maybe her parents wouldn't let her go in there. So I thought, here's my book one idea. Fiona gets her treehouse for her 7th birthday and it's raining every single day. And then finally, in the end, she gets to actually play in the treehouse for the first time and she starts setting it up. Okay, so that's my idea. I'm going to share my idea with some people in my family and tell them the story so that I can really get into the swing of teaching them about Fiona. And I'm going to see if they have any questions about her, because maybe when I'm introducing her, I could answer some of those questions. What I want you to do now is I want you to think about your character. Think about what stories and what adventures your character has had. And now think about what is it that you need to tell us about your character so that your character can be introduced to us. So let's say your character loves to play basketball. Maybe your book one is introducing the place where your character loves to play basketball, or how your character started to play basketball, or something along those lines. Maybe your character loves to go swimming or loves to go boating, and your book one is going to be introducing that to us. So now we're ready for a bunch of different adventures that have to do with that. Okay, so after you have decided what it is that you're going to do, how you're going to introduce your character, then you're ready to move on to our next thing. But that's going to be tomorrow. So tomorrow, I'm going to start planning out my book, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm pretty excited for that. Okay, enjoy creating this amazing book one for your character.